Hey everyone, it's Brie. I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the SpiegelMom Scraps design team. And I am going to be working with the sequin mix called Summer Morn, and it is part of the July release. And I do apologize. I think my camera was a little bit smudged. That's why it seems like a little bit foggy, but here in just a minute, I will have a different frame and it'll be a lot more clear. So I apologize in advance. Okay, so I am working with this pattern paper from the Pink Fresh Studios new collection, Just a Little Lovely or Just a Little Bit of Lovely. I forget which one it is. But yeah, so it has a watercolor background, and I decided to add just a little bit more watercolor or just mixed media on top of it just to give it my own personal touch. So I've added some gesso. I just painted it on with a dry paintbrush, and then I'm going in with some shimmers. The blue is the Frostbite Vibes. The pink is a Vibes Sweetheart, and the yellow is a Vibes Mustard Seed. Now I didn't need to add any mixed media to this paper since it was already very watercolory, but I just wanted to add a little bit extra and to bring the color down a little bit more and just to give it more of like a personal touch. Yeah, so I let it dry, and then I've got my photo there, and I'm just like there for a second. I couldn't decide on how I wanted the paper to lay. I didn't know if I wanted those stripes to go vertical or to be horizontal. I eventually ended in vertical. Okay, so I've added some white splatters using my acrylic white paint pen, and that's by Montana Markers, and I picked it up on Amazon. And I got that idea from Lisa Fonseca that has her own YouTube channel, and then she also designs for Hip Kit as well as Pink Paisley. Okay, so here is where I added the second sequin mix because I did want to add a shaker. My original design for this page was I was just going to sprinkle some sequins around my page. But going through the Pink Fresh Studio ephemera pack, I found some frames, and you know me, I cannot resist making a shaker. So I've zoomed in and I've used one of the frames, and I've got my thin foam strips here that I'm going to create my shaker with. So I've already glued down the acetate, and I'm removing the release paper from my foam tape so that I can maneuver the foam tape around the border of my frame. And then I'm going to show you the type of foam strips I use here, or actually in just a second. So that's the powder tool that I like to use on my shakers to eliminate static. And I might have already shown the foam strips and I just didn't realize it, so I apologize. I might have been looking down when I was watching it. So anyways, I am spooning in the two sequin mixes, and they are gorgeous by themselves, but also gorgeous together. And they match this new collection so well. I wanted to make sure I got some of those purple sequins, like the little pops of purple, into my shaker. So I'm just kind of tossing them in there. But I love how the shaker turned out. So I always like to add extra adhesive on top of my foam before I seal my shaker up. And this time I'm sealing it up with some vellum because I love the soft look that it gives. And I didn't want to take away from my watercolory background. So there's my shaker. I love how it turned out. I love those sequin mixes together. Those little silver stars that come in the Royal Highness set are so pretty. And yes, I did show those foam strips, and I totally missed that part. So yeah, I get them at simonsaysstamp.com, and I think they come with 30 strips in the little pack, but they're perfect for these shaker frames that I love to create. So on to my layout, I've got my doily glued down, and then I decided to add this frame around the photo of my oldest son. That's Noah. I snapped this photo while we were waiting in line at Disneyland for one of the rides when we were on our vacation back in December. And so that's why I'm adding this little ephemera piece, because it says living our best life right now, because we love Disney, and it was just the three of us, and we had the best time ever. And I've scrapped some photos from our Disney trip, so I've said that several times, but it was really such a great trip just to be with me and my boys. It was amazing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my little shaker down, and then it kind of matches up perfectly with my background and how the paint is on the pattern paper. So once I remove my little adhesive runner, you'll kind of see how it kind of fits in perfectly, like the yellow and the pink. I did add this little ephemera piece that says Precious Moments, and that's going to be a part of my title, and I'll add to that in just a second. I'm going to add that little floral piece down. And this is where I'm going to add to my title. So it'll be Precious Moments with You, because it was a great moment while we were on vacation. So yeah, just I absolutely love to create shakers, and that's why I love to include them in my process videos to help inspire y'all or to come up with different ways to make a shaker. That is one of the things that I love to do. Before I even create, I kind of just sit down and look at what I'm going, like whatever collection, whatever thing that I'm going to be working with, and I try to think of something, to create that might be different. I usually don't have like a layout in mind of how I'm going to lay things down on my page. I kind of just, start somewhere and go from there. So I knew that I loved the Summer Morn sequin mix, and that's where I created from. I pulled the sequin mix and I built from there. And it just happened to match that Pink Fresh Studio line perfectly. So it definitely helped. I added a puppy sticker on the right of my photo. I felt like that little corner was a little empty to me. And I added this little text sticker that says happiness right here. I think that's what it says. And I think that's it. I do add some sewing off camera. You can see here just a little strip, and then I added some stitching. My sewing machine got a little away from me for a second, but I added it up on that ephemera piece. And that does it. Don't forget to use my code Brianna15 to save you 15% off. There is my final layout. I hope I've inspired you some way to create a shaker with any kind of frame that you have on hand. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.